All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight is a special. It's going to be a special episode. We're going to be discussing something that we're going to be discussing somebody's story that has gone through a lot, and has persevered. And I'm so excited to have her here and for her to share her story. And I'm sure you're going to be very inspired because I'm inspired as well. So we have Lydia Gray on, and she's going to tell you about herself and her story and how she maneuvered through all the hustles and bustles of her life and what she went through and how she's still holding on today. So Lydia Gray, I'm happy that you're here today, and I'm excited to discuss your story. So could you tell the people about yourself, about your upbringing, where you came from, to probably when you came to America. So
where do I start?
Start from your childhood. Start from, when you were born, stuff like that, yeah.
Well, I was born in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Wow.
As most people already knew me. Mm-hmm. And I migrated to the United States in the late 80s.
Wow.
Because I don't want to give... That will give my age a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. You could. Yeah.
In the late 80s, and I continue being in this Middlesex County vicinity almost all my life.
Wow.
I am married, and I have a daughter.
Wow.
I work for Rutgers University, and I've worked for Rutgers University for quite some time now, almost since I came to this country.
Wow.
So it's quite a long time.
Wow. So I really want to discuss, the main purpose of why you're here, not just promote, the project you have upcoming, but I want to discuss, the incident, right? And, could you tell the people what happened and how your life was before it and how it transformed after?
Well, the main purpose why, because without my organization, I would never try to be here. I will not do it. Mm-hmm. No, that's because I was not, that's not what I was ready for at the time. Mm-hmm. But when I formed the organization, I realized that in order for me to be able to come out and talk and let everybody embrace who I am, mm-hmm. I have to talk about what happened to me. Mm-hmm. Before I have my accident, I was who you see right now, really, vibrant, hardworking, go to work every day, come home. But I had a dream. I wanted to make a difference in life. The reason why I'm saying that right now because most of the time I see a lot of foreigners, especially the whites and Chinese, they go to Sierra Leone and other African countries per se, and then they use our resources and then come back and change things.
That's true.
They come over to their country, manufactures things that they pull from our people in Africa and then go back and sell it to us in mm-hmm. Africa. Mm-hmm. And our people become consumers. Mm-hmm. And that's the change I wanted to make. When I was I'm still working for Rutgers University. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about retiring. So I said to myself, I have to do something that's good. I was making chinchi. I grew up selling a lot of little food and snacks around town.
Yeah.
We used to make olele,
mm-hmm.
coconut cake,
mm-hmm.
ginger cake, and all those other things that we sell mm-hmm. around town. I will sell them after school, on weekends, and during the holidays. I was doing all that. So we go to school, we become educated, and then you're still working. What do you want to do next? I have all the talents. The thing that struck me the most was when I saw charcoal toothpaste on television in the United States.
Wow.
I was flabbergasted because I don't know whether you've ever been to Sierra Leone or any African country. Charcoal was used as a local toothpaste when we don't have money to buy the manufactured toothpaste from overseas. So some of us use charcoal to clean our teeth and keep it moving. It was we were ashamed to talk about that, saying that we use charcoal to clean up, to brush our mouth, and because some of us were that poor. So when I saw charcoal toothpaste on television being commercialized and very expensive, I was like, whoa, this is more of exploiting our people. We are looking at this charcoal, because charcoal is made out of wood, saying that we cannot use it as, we were ashamed to talk about the toothpaste, and then they're selling it now. So these people, whites or, Chinese or Asian,
Caucasians,
they went to Sierra Leone and other African country, and they learned about this charcoal, and then they came back and manufactured it, and then they will take it back to the country where they got the idea and sell it.
Wow.
So that's when I said, chin chin is been popularly made around Africa as snack. Students are buying it every day. They are eating it as snack. And even here in the United States, I've always made chin chin for parties.
Wow.
When they said a potluck party, nobody knows me about cooking. They will only ask me to bring chin chin because that's all they think I knew how to do.
Yeah. Try to put you in that box. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that, that's all they want. Like chin chin, I'll bring it. So my husband works for the military at the military base. One of his co-worker, a white guy, I used to make chin chin and just give it to him and then say, you know what, we don't want to eat it at home. Take it to work and give it to your co-workers. And so they used to eat it so much and call for more. In fact, the funny thing that I like about it, when he said one time he came home and his friend called him and said, "Oh, Gray, can you tell your wife to make that thing that looks like crouton?"
Oh wow! Oh my goodness!
He said, "I like it so much I put it on my salad."
Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow.
So one of these other guys, my husband was gonna go buy some wood for our floor, and he did not have help with carrying the lumber. The guy lives in Philadelphia. He drove from Fort Dix, New Jersey, came to East Brunswick in the lumber yard on 18, helped my husband to pack the truck with the lumber, just so I will make him a bag of chin chin.
Wow.
And that's when it really struck me and said, wait a minute, I am giving this item away for free. And these people are asking me for more. And these are not Sierra Leoneans, and these are not other Africans. These are whites. And at my job, I will make chin chin and take it out, and so for just the same way, but the parties or snack in the lunchroom, and they will eat it. They would just, Lydia, that thing that you really make, I like it. So, and I am one of the only black person in my own department that I work for at Rutgers University.
Oh wow!
So, and I this kept turning over in my mind, saying, I need to make this chin chin. I need to start this business. But in New Jersey, you cannot do any commercial business that you sell to anybody and you make it out of your kitchen table.
Right.
That's a New Jersey law. There are other states where you can do that, but in New Jersey you cannot.
Right.
So I started making the chin chin, taking it to the flea market. I went to the kitchen, bought my equipment from China, and I started making the chin chin. So that's where I got my accident. In fact, 2 days before I had the accident, I was preparing to attend the International Food Convention at the Jacob Javits Center. They told me that it's going to be a big, it was a big thing where different supply chains were going to come around and look at different international food, and some of them might buy it from me and then make it into a better commercial commodity that they will sell in the big supermarket, because that was my goal, to put it on the big shelf, to put it in ShopRite and all these other food chains that are around, ShopRite, Food Town, and all this, Costco. And I was already doing my due diligence, asking about how I should go about doing this. And these are all because most of the time you need to have this middleman, this supply chain middleman, to come in, help you buy the product, and then sell it to this bigger supermarket chain. So that was my goal. I was preparing for that day. My daughter was working on this machine, and then she said to me, the machine was giving trouble from the get-go, but it was kind of like, we were managing it, because we said until we get it to run properly. So she called me and said, Mommy, this machine is not working right. Can you fix it for me? That was where I met my demise, with my hand.
Wow. So when that happened, right? I'm sure this was a very. I'm sure. I can imagine where your mind was, where your daughter's mind was, where your husband's mind was, when that happened. My question is, what was the reaction, and how did you? And even though, what was going through your mind in that moment, if I may ask, what was going through your mind?
All I wanted was for the machine to release my hand. And so, because the machine held my hand, all I wanted was for the machine to release my hand so I could just go, oh my God, keep it moving. But then the machine refused to release my hand. So I called on my nephew, who was also there. And by then, my daughter, she was, frantically panicking.
I mean, yeah.
At that time. But then after both of them, my nephew and my daughter, tried to kind of stop the machine and see whether it would let go of my hand. Then I said to them, call 911. It's getting serious. So they called 911. All I thought was maybe one of my middle finger would be affected. That was the only concern I had. But at that moment, I was not. All I wanted was my hand to be released. But it took over 30 minutes before my hand could be released from the machine, and that's the paramedics came. They could not do it, so they had to call the fire department. The Old Bridge Fire Department came, and they had to break the machine apart before my hand was released from that machine.
Wow. So, when you went to the hospital, right? Did you stay there for I'm sure you stayed there for some time, right?
Well, by the time I got to the hospital, I really did not know that I was in there. They've already put me out before I got to the hospital.
Okay.
From the ambulance, they put me out.
So no, when you got to the hospital, did they put you out, or did you?
No, they put me out in the ambulance.
Okay. So when you got to the hospital, you stayed there. I'm sure you stayed there for a couple of days, right?
Well, I stayed in the hospital because I had surgery. Okay. I had 3 surgeries before I was sent home. Wow. Well, they sent me home earlier because of the COVID.
Okay.
So, and my vitals were good, and they did not really need to do any kind of blood transfusion, and my medical vitals were okay. So they sent me home to heal, because they did not want me to catch COVID while I was in their premises.
So what happened to you, right? is something that can change the life of an individual tremendously. Um, if I may ask, if you do remember, where was your mind? I mean, it's a given that maybe you were probably depressed from that incident, or you weren't, or what was going through your mind?
Um, there was more shame, embarrassment. How do I face society? How would other people accept me? The persona that I've already conveyed, that I've already carried within the society. How am I going to face others? My acquaintances, my friends. Those were the most difficult part in my life. And then the worst of it was, why me?
Mm.
But again, why not me?
Wow.
It could have been my daughter who was working that machine at the moment.
Wow.
It's just that, let's say the Lord pulled her out and I stepped in, because it could have been her.
Mm-hmm.
But then it happened to me. And that's the courage that I have. Or it could have been my nephew,
Mm-hmm.
who was also helping me. Those are the courage that let me say, you know what? I have lived my life. They have a long way to go. If it was my daughter or my nephew, I don't think I will be sitting here talking to you guys. It's either I am dead or I am in the crazy house, because I will not forgive myself. Because what I was doing was not their passion. It was mine. It was my dream. It was my reason to be a successful woman. That's what I was pursuing. And for me to put them in a position where they are in the predicaments that I am at right now, I would have regretted my life so badly. But at this moment, because of them, I stand strong to tell them that we're still going to move on, and I'm still going to be the mother and the auntie.
So I want to know the support level that you had from them, and how did they or how was their reaction? Let's say the first few days or weeks that you had taken surgery and stuff like that, because you know even though the youth said it'd rather be me than my kids, right?
Yes.
But I'm sure for them it was a very disturbing moment,
I
right?
wish I could get that from them, but none of them in my household were able to give. I have asked those questions several times, but nobody was able to give me that answer that I am looking for from them. How do they feel? My daughter I am closest to my daughter. And, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. And forget my nephew, I don't know it.
Mm-hmm. So,
He doesn't even answer me.
But you don't suspect it. But you do you suspect it or you don't suspect it?
My daughter is strong. My nephew is a little bit of the one that I am worried about. He was the one who was not so cohesive on that day, whereas my daughter was much stronger. She was the one that called the 911, make all the telephone calls and try to keep a steady head.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew was just, so up till now, I am kind of worried about that situation with him, but he's not able to talk to me about it.
Right. So you said something. You said that you were afraid to face um your colleagues and people in society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna be very honest, right? Is it in general, or was it with, I'll say it, the African community?
I was afraid to meet anybody. Last year, this time, I was covering myself with shawls and jackets and all this thing, walking around when I go out.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I'm not doing it, because one thing I realize about us human beings,
Mm-hmm.
when you try to hide something, they try to watch more. Then I said, let me take off the shawl and the jacket and wear my summer clothes. And at this time, nobody noticed. Last year, people were kind of like curious to see what was she hiding. And now nobody is. Again, I walked in a building where there are about 250 people.
Mm-hmm.
And when they said, we have to go back to work, the notion of going back to the building, and I was like, how do I face those people also?
Mm.
So it's not just the African or the Sierra Leonean community; it's the worldwide.
So in
Anybody,
general,
general say, how do you face them? So when I left there with two hands. Now I am going with partially one hand.
right? Wow, 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 wow. So I'm sure. So I want to ask this question as well, right? In your recovery process, right? Um, what part do you think God played in your recovery?
I was I was mad at God.
Mm.
I was really mad at God because I said to myself, I'm not a bad person. I've never done anybody wrong in life. I've never done anything wrong to anyone. I am open, I'm open minded. I open my house to anybody. I give. I give. I would take off the shirt off my back and give it to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to myself, Lord, you said you're going to protect
Mm.
your child or your children. Why do you do this to me? Why did you bring this kind of embarrassments to my life?
Mm.
Because it's easier said than done, but it is an embarrassment for me to sit down here and talk to you guys right now. It is a big embarrassment to me for me to be talking about this situation. So I am asking God, why do you do this to me? So I was upset with all that I tried to do, with all my involvement with the church. And I felt like God failed me.
Um, and if you mind me asking, do you still feel like that now?
I am getting better. I am getting better. I I have not been to the sanctuary, but I have been participating in church services almost every Sunday and the Bible studies in church. But, you know, I am getting much better.
You know, the truth is, people don't want to admit it that every Christian has gotten to the point where they're angry with God. Um, and even for myself, there have been times I was angry with God too because of certain situations and stuff like that. No, I mean, everyone's situation is different, you know. So maybe people may be watching and say, "Oh, why is she angry at God?" Oh, so it happens. People get angry because you don't expect certain things to happen. This what you went through is not. I mean, even though yes, a lot of people have gone through this as well, but your experience is man. I just gotta see you're a strong person. Yeah, I can't even. I can't. You're a strong person because to be able to still go to church and still be involved and still push forward despite all this. Some people they feel like this is the end of life.
Well, for me, this is not the end of life. This is the continuum of life for me.
Wow.
This is not going to stop me from being the person that I still want to be.
Right.
I am still going to strive to become that successful woman that I have been trying to be all my life. I came from a hard beginning. So I'm not going to stop now.
So okay. So were you always like that from since the accident, or did you reach a certain place to say, you know what, I gotta push forward?
Um, After the accident, I did not know what to do with myself. I felt like everything was just crumbling down in front of my face. My life was crumbling down. Everything was just, I was, I don't know how to deal with the situation. And I started counseling. So the psychiatrist, when I, when we will sit down, and then I will cry and tell her what I am, my situation.
Wow.
And then she listened to me the first time. The second time, she said, "You know what? We're not going to play this pity party anymore." He said, then she told me, she said, "Lydia, next week when I come and because it was over online, we do it over Zoom." He said, "When we meeting each other," he said, "I want you to come here, put your lipstick on, your makeup, like you usually is." He said, "Because I did not see a weak woman standing there. I saw a brilliant, strong woman. And that's what you're going to continue with." He said, "So when I meet with you next week, that was a statement. I want you to put yourself together and talk to me."
Wow. So this is what I want to ask you, or this, yeah, okay, yeah. Could you please stress to our people the importance of counseling? Because I'm going to be very honest, right? A lot of our people, we don't believe in counseling and going to a therapist to talk about our problems or talk about our experiences, right? But I'm sure that helped you. Oh, sorry. That helped you tremendously, right? So, sorry guys. Yeah, that was a okay. Yeah. So I'm sure that helped you tremendously. What would have happened if you did not go to therapy?
Listening to other people, I had a one-on-one therapy, and then I have group therapy.
Okay.
And when I sit down and listen to the group therapy individual, nothing is, when I say, when they are talking, I am saying to myself, what's wrong with you? I am not seeing what your problem is, but I am not inside them, because they are going through something psychologically I cannot explain. I am going through something physically that I can explain. So it's because they will ask, people, we go there and people have to talk about different scenarios in their lives. And some of them will babble off different things that happened to them. But again, I was not there to judge. I was there to gain, just to understand my own situation and see how I could move on with what is going on with what I had in front of me, or what is going on right now. So at that time, other people with different kind of psychological problems were in the group session. They talk about their problem, and at the end of the day, some of them, when they hear and see and listen to other people, you go back and say, maybe I should change, because therapy is not less the medication or anything that they give you. It's also the connection with other people, to see how other people are taking their own situation and using it positively. And that's what that's what the group session was all about.
Wow.
That positive group session, to help each other, encourage each other, to say, you know what, it is hard right now, but something good is going to happen to you. Just stay strong.
Wow. There was a comment that was posted, Hamjad, you just posted, so I just want to read it. So the person said, "Why you?" Yes, I understand. I said the same thing when a veggie bullet cut part of my middle finger. Only you know your pain. By the grace of God, by the grace of God Almighty, your dream will be fulfilled. So what do you have to say to that person?
Thank you, Elmira, for your comment, because those who don't know might say it's just your middle finger, but your middle finger is just as important in your life like anything else. Right. My example is, which I gave Mr. Kuyate just now, is most of us ladies will say we have what we call pimples or
Yeah, yeah, acne or
acne
yeah,
or whatever on our
yeah.
face, and we are embarrassed to go out because there is that little thing on our face because somebody else is going to see us.
Mm-hmm.
But for you as the individual, you know what that means to you. We nobody can tell someone how they are feeling and what we all have what our limits.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may go out and say, I have acme, please, it's no big
It is
deal.
what it is.
Yes.
Right.
Others will not go out because of that.
Mm-hmm. So people are different.
Yes.
People are different. People react to things differently. That's why a lot of folks have to understand. You know, okay, you and this person may go through the same situation, but not because you react to it differently. That means that they're gonna react the same way to how they reacted.
Yes,
Right.
Exactly. And again, I want to encourage Miss Smith, Elmira,
Mm-hmm.
be strong. I am in some of the different groups where people lose physical parts of their body,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are lamenting
Mm-hmm.
profusely all the time.
Wow.
So whatever you lost, just be strong and say, you know what? I'm going to pull through. There is so much help out there. This is the reason why I am doing the work, Lydia Walk for Amputee, to help people so that they can have devices that are going to help them in the long run.
Wow. Wow. So, when did that thought come to you that you know what, I need to do something for people that almost went through the same thing that I went through? Like like how did where did that spark say, hey, wait a minute, let me do this?
The work,
Yes.
going back to work.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Because
Mhm.
I said, how am I going to face 250 people on day-to-day basis? And in my job position, I have to meet, talk around the university.
Mhm.
I need to do something to come out so that when I go to work, it is not a shock for them to see me.
Mhm.
So that's how I said, well, what can I do? And again, the psychiatrist that I saw told me to do something with myself. Let me think about something that's going to empower me. And so that's how the work, because, I called, I have a room in my house that I call my reflection room. I went through a mind searching a lot. And then I said the only way I could. But in fact, immediately when I had my accident, my doctor, Dr. Shah, asked me, he said, Lydia, what can we do for you? I said, I want to go to Africa and help the amputees.
Mm.
I had seen them in Sierra Leone, but I never thought about doing anything for them. They are in the middle of the road, they are riding and they are chasing cars, they are begging for money. Some of them are riding on scooters. The scooters are made with just 2x4s and some wheel around the corner. So I never thought about, okay, give them, most of the time when we come from the United States and go to Sierra Leone, our people are protecting us. Don't wear them because I'm already, because once you give one a little something, they all come around. But at this point, I want to make a difference. How could I help some of those people also? But I'm going to start from here in the United States because this is where I am getting my support from first. How am I going to help others?
Wow. And you definitely are helping people. You definitely are helping people, and I believe, and I strongly believe that I don't know. Nobody knows the mind of God, right? But maybe he used your experience, right, as a way to reach people. Because here's the thing, right? Just by speaking to you, right, your personality and who you are as a person can convict a person, right? I'm sure you've been told that you have a very, loving personality. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, So I'm sure when there's people that that have that maybe that would not talk, but if they come across you, they'd probably open up. You know what I mean?
I hope I'm able to make a difference in that in someone.
And I believe you already are doing that. I mean, we just saw that with one of the comments. By the way, James Gray, is that?
James Gray is my husband's cousin.
Oh, okay.
And then there is Leah, something. I think that's a friend of mine in London
Mm-hmm.
who commented. The previous lady who said she lost her finger. I don't know her,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew of her
Okay.
because our auntie is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So our auntie told me about her. So it's so ironic that she watched the show.
Oh wow. So when is the walk that you're doing?
The walk is on October 9th
Mm-hmm.
at 9 a.m. in the morning at the Alvin Williams Park in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Wow, that's great. Hopefully we can have the information like of your walk. If there could be a link that you have a link about it. You have a link
I
about
have
it.
everything
Okay.
that you need for the walk.
Well,
I think I have it.
We'll need it in the comments, like in the comments, so people that are watching that
Eli,
they
can
know.
you forward Eli?
Yeah, yeah. Huh? No. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. We need the comments, so we need the link in the comments so people can click on it and so they could be a part of it because I think this is something that's very special.
Yes.
And I'm very I'm very inspired by your conversation. And what else do you have to say to the viewers that are watching?
Come out, support Lydia Walk for Amputee on October 9th, 2021
Yeah.
at the Alvin Williams Park in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I have a GoFundMe page and I also have a registration page where you can register for the walk. If you want to walk, it's $35 per person. And come out, join me, and never say never in life. It's not over until the Lord said it's over. You see, I said I was upset with God, but look at what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I still go back to my root of believing.
From what this is Panita Myrtle. That's your cousin.
Yeah, Penina Model is my cousin.
Oh, okay. All right. Hi Panita. Hi Panita. So I think I would probably say that
Yes, Auntie Isa.
Oh yeah.
She calls me all the time.
Oh really? Wow. So I would say that the reason why you did that is because your personal relationship with God is very strong. So I mean, every relationship, you have some good, you have some bad. You have some days where you love the person. You have some days that you don't like what they do, but you still love them. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
So I think a lot of us, when it comes to God, we're the same way. We love Him so much, but everything He does, we don't really understand. We don't like it, but it's for our good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I really appreciate you coming here and just inspiring the people, and I know that your walk is going to be a success. Okay, yes, that's the link
registration
for
page
the
and
registration page.
yes, can you send the GoFundMe?
Ready to GoFundMe soon.
So you tell that's my psyche.
Yeah, that's Lydia Gray's daughter. What's her name?
Ailey Gray.
Her name?
Ailey.
Ailey Gray. Alien Gray. Ailey Gray.
No, not like Ailey.
Ailey.
Yes.
Okay, Ailey Gray. That's Ailey Gray. That's Lydia Gray's sidekick, her daughter. So yeah. So this was a great show. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to what you have in store, because I know it's definitely going to help people. So
I think that was a night before my accident.
Wow.
When I was preparing.
So can we play? Can I have a little bit of the audio? Hamza, do you have the audio of the video?
It's kind of long, isn't it?
Oh, we'll end with it.
Okay, we can end with it. Let's end with this. End with the video, and so people can watch and you know take more from it as well. Because
And
this
I
is
would
gonna
tell
something.
you,
Yeah.
I have Dr. Shah,
Mm-hmm.
the doctor who performed my surgery, was a very encouraging man.
Mm-hmm.
He made me feel as though, Lydia, you're gonna make it. This is not gonna be the end of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help you to make sure that you are able to come back and do what you used to do as a individual. And when I met him during the first time in the hospital, he said, "Oh, this is the nice lady I met last night." He came in with a t-shirt and a jean.
Wow.
So I turned to my husband and said, "Who's this guy?" And then he said, "Oh, that's the doctor."
Wow.
Yeah. But after he left the room, encouraging me and talking to me and telling me that it's going to be fine. And he made sure that every step of the way, it's going to be fine. Even to this morning, I received an email from him.
Well, I'm sure God put that doctor, in your life
For a reason, yes.
Yeah. So this is a wonderful show, and thank you for coming on, Lydia. Thank you for sharing your story and inspiring people. And I'm sure that people are gonna continuously watch this
Yes.
because they need to hear your story, and they need to know that even though life seems so difficult, but there's a way,
Yes.
and you can move on.
Oh, yes, there's always a way. Um, Doing the fundraising has been so inspiring. I never knew that people are going to be so supportive, but they are very supportive. Friends, family, businesses.
Wow.
Big and small, the small businesses in Jamesburg where I live has been so supportive.
Wow.
I would tell you, one of the restaurants next door to me, Maria Tinkara, it's a Mexican restaurant. I went in there today and she wrote me a check for $300.
Wow.
Another friend of mine, Saturday, called me and was checking on me just casually. And then I said, I have to tell you something. And then I told her. She cried so hard. Between me and her husband, they sent me $1,000.
Wow.
And there are other people who have been supportive of me. Those are the people that's made me, because there is no way you have people who are supporting you and then you're trying to be feeling down, out, and not improving yourself. I always believe that if you don't pull yourself out, people are going to get tired of you and say, why are we helping her? She's not helping.
She doesn't want to help herself.
Yes. And I want to show them that I am helping myself. So that's why I have to do it for myself and for others who are supporting me, including my family.
Wow. Thank you, Lydia. I think we can close from there. That was powerful enough. There's nothing more can be said. That was it. So thank you for this show. Thank you for the episode. Thank you for for sharing your story. And hopefully we can have you again.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
It's a wrap. Good night.
I'm in the kitchen making some chin-chin. From work to work. I leave my regular job and I come to the kitchen and start making some chin-chin. I've never met somebody without a hand. I know they are there, but I have never met one before. I've met me, Lydia. On March 5th, I had a show, the International Food Show in Jacob Jarvis Convention Center, where I was going to do an exhibition of my product. I was looking for something big to come out of what I was doing. It was about 8:30 or so in the evening. My nephew was doing the molding on the other side. So she kept telling me, Mommy, this machine is not working right. I'm trying to troubleshoot. The bag, because it's a rolling bag, the bag just dropped on top of my head, trying to figure out how to get the bag out. The machine just go on motor speed. Grab my hand, and by that time I was yelling for my nephew, come and help me, my hand. Then I yelled to them, call 911. It took them over 30 minutes before they could release my hand from the machine. By that time, I knew I was done. I am a left-hander, and that was the worst day of my life.
Lydia Gray suffered a severe traumatic injury to her left hand and left wrist when she was working at a business of hers that she's very passionate about. She was emergently taken to Jersey Shore Medical Center, where I was on call and was asked to come in to see her. She had suffered a severe traumatic crushing and burning injury to the left hand that created an incredible amount of both soft tissue as well as nerve and bone damage. Unfortunately, we weren't able to save Lydia's hand, as there was no opportunity to reconstruct the injury that she had suffered, and we ended up having to move forward with a procedure known as a transradial amputation.
It just uplifted me to say, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be fine. We made that decision right there and then to say, you can take the hand off the next day, I'm gonna be okay.
We decided to move forward with a transradial amputation and targeted muscle reinnervation. In patients who have had amputation injuries, traditionally the nerves that function to the areas that have been lost, such as the hand or the wrist, are often severed, and they are left, for lack of a better term, as frayed wires that are sort of injuring and hurting all of the structures around them. They can cause patients a significant amount of pain and lead to something known as phantom limb syndrome, where the patients feel the limb that was once present to be consistently there and consistently painful for them. Through the use of this new procedure known as targeted muscle reinnervation, we can actually reroute the nerves and move them to areas of the extremity in which they don't cause the patients the same amount of pain because they don't work as frayed electrical wires. What's really incredible about upper extremity targeted muscle reinnervation, or TMR, it can actually make the power of the eventual prosthetic device or the replacement hand or replacement arm even more functional than it would be otherwise. The prosthetics environment has really tremendously advanced in recent years, and we have opportunities to leverage technology in the form of what's called pattern recognition prosthetic devices. The prosthetic would pick up the signals that those muscles provide to the prosthetic.
Dr. Shah called her and said, Alta, I have a patient who I think I'm going to be amputated. How can you help her out? So Alta knew about me that night. And working with Alta in therapy, they helped me tremendously.
We already think that this is a major victory for what happened to you. So, but I want to make sure that you know that there's all this stuff out there for you, especially as you sort of become more of a spokesperson in some way for you, because you might find that something that you weren't ready for months ago, both mentally as well as physically, you might find that maybe you're more ready for it as time goes on.
The only thing that will give me the ultimate satisfaction is if I could see what left me with one hand on the shelves of supermarkets.
As you can see from a number of the videos and activities that Lydia can perform, she is a real inspiring story of recovery and regeneration, making a tragedy into something that she is now able to get back to work, get back to her hobbies, and perform a lot of independent functional activities that she wouldn't have been able to do without her dedication to the process.